Today I'm going to share with you the top 5 reasons why people are deciding to plant their roots in Lake Stevens and what is so dynamic about this location. It's super renowned for its schools, of course. I'm going to do a very deep dive into what makes Lake Stevens such a desirable place for people to want to move to. The last one you're not going to miss if you're a commuter too. Stay till the end because the number 5 is going to be a big deal if you're commuting anywhere outside of Lake Stevens like most people are. My name is Mike Novak. I'm the team leader and a real estate agent for the Novak real estate team and real brokerage. But today, I'm not your real estate agent. I am your community guide. I've personally lived in Lake Stevens. I know this area super well. My kids went to the schools there, so I have firsthand experience. And today, I'm just going to kind of give you my perspective as a local on why I think people find Lake Stevens so desirable and why I think they're continuing to flock that way. So this is the insider scoop from a local on why people move to Lake Stevens. Over the last 5 years, we have seen massive amounts of new construction in this area, like thousands of homes, which has been pretty cool. There's been a lot of builds from D.R. Horton, Pacific Ridge, Mainview Homes, Toll Brothers, and even Harbor Homes. So lots of big builders building in this area. Cornerstone Homes is a local builder that's built some product in Lake Stevens as well. So a lot of Lake Stevens is pretty new and it's been built up massively over the last 5-6 years. There's also just a massive amount of natural growth happening as people kind of migrate north and east a little bit. The further people get away from Seattle, the more house they get for the money. And so you're starting to see people just continue to go up north to find that balance between drive time and price when they decide to buy a house. And so Lake Stevens has become a very natural destination for people that maybe work down south but don't want to have down south prices for their home. There's also been a lot of commercial development as well occurring. There's a lot of retail shopping in Lake Stevens. We got name brands like Target, Michaels, Ross, Ulta Beauty, which my wife loves. Are just a couple of them, with a lot of this based out of Frontier Village, which is that major retail center that's located right off Highway 9. When you come into town, there's just a ton of retail shopping and dining in that area. That's like one of the most massive commercial areas in Lake Stevens, okay? You also have some awesome grocery store options. There's Hagen's, which is my personal favorite for when it comes to fresh meats, seafoods, local wines, beers, awesome things like that. Like if you're looking for craft ingredients, I love Hagen's. It's expensive, but you get top shelf quality. The other option is Safeway, which is over kind of by the Frontier Village area. It's going to be a little bit less expensive, but still have some really good options for you. So those are the two big kind of grocery options. There's some smaller options as well, but those are kind of the big two that most people flock to. As far as the food scene goes in Lake Stevens, my wife and I love to go out to eat. That's one of our favorite things. It's like an experience to us to go out and just enjoy quality food and drink and just explore different restaurants. And so we've eaten at every restaurant in Lake Stevens, some of them multiple times. And to be honest with you, I feel like Lake Stevens has a ways to go to really get up to the level of where someone that really loves dining out is going to be happy. There's not a ton of options. There's a good handful of solid choices, but check out the other video that I've shot on specific dining options in Lake Stevens where I kind of break down for you my top local choices. Just a little spoiler alert from that video. The best brunch in Lake Stevens, in my opinion, is at LJ's. It's on the weekends. They got some amazing brunch drinks. Opens at 9 o'clock. It's kind of a hidden secret, so don't tell anybody about it, please. But we love LJ's for brunch. It's good for dinner, too. Kind of like a little bit of fine dining, but the brunch is superb. Best avocado toast I've ever had, hands down. So check that out. But just to be totally honest with you, I feel like the food scene in Lake Stevens has some room for improvement, and I'm hoping that more restaurant options come out there in the next couple of years. Very few locations or areas combined just the amazing natural amenities that Lake Stevens has. You literally have waterfront and water activities. You could go wakeboard during the day and you could go hike in the afternoon and then end your day at a local craft brewery. How cool is that, right? Like just the diversity of the natural amenities in Lake Stevens is truly next level. And it's something that makes it a really unique and cool place to live. So let's jump into our top 5 reasons that so many people are moving to Lake Stevens. Let me break it down for you. So the number one reason that people move to Lake Stevens, and this is not really a secret at this point, is of course the school districts. The district quality is one of the best in all of Snohomish County. You've really got 3 great school districts, plus a few that are not bad as well. Those would be Mukilteo is very well regarded, Northshore, which is going to be mostly Bothell and parts of Mill Creek, and then of course the Lake Stevens School District. These are very top-ranked schools in our area. We personally, like I said earlier, have had our kids in the Lake Stevens schools. They went to Stevens Creek Elementary when it opened up, and their experience was fantastic. It really seemed like the teachers cared about the kids, and I was really impressed by the vested interest they took in getting to know the kids at a very personal level. They knew what was going on with them, what was happening at home, things like that, which was really impressed me, because those classes get big. They're like 30 people, and that's a lot of kids to keep track of. And I was really impressed just by how vested they seemed in their personal life as well, and what was happening outside of school and inside of school as well. So for elementary, Stevens Creek is the newest school, and it's also the highest rated. It's got a 9 out of 10 on greatschools.org, which is kind of like the golden standard for researching schools. So go ahead and go over to greatschools.org, and you can type in Lake Stevens, and you can do some research on each one of the particular schools. But 9 out of 10 is really good, and rightfully so. Stevens Creek Elementary, beautiful school. It's got some good views from it too. And our kids just absolutely loved going there, and I was very impressed by the facility. So that's definitely the highest rated elementary school. When it comes to middle schools, there's a couple of options. There's Caballero, there is Lake Stevens, and there's North Lakes. 3 different options depending on where you live at. They're all rated about the same, which is like kind of in the middle, like a 6 to 7 out of 10. Okay. When it comes to high school, all of Lake Stevens funnels into one high school, and that is, of course, Lake Stevens High. This is a big school. They typically have close to 2,000 students in attendance there. That was a 2019 statistic, so it's likely grown by the time this video was made. And it's part of the Westco 4A league, which is like the biggest competition basically. So as far as like sports go, you know, they have a big football team, great wrestling team, other fantastic sports leagues there as well. And they compete in the Westco 4A league, which is always going to be your biggest schools, you know, in big communities as well. So kind of cool. And the high school is rated a respectable 7 out of 10 on greatschools.org. So not bad, not perfect, but it's not bad when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. And it's rated much higher than several other high schools in the area. So definitely worth checking out. So that's number one, is the school districts. And just to put on my real estate hat for a moment here, I want to point out to you that where you have great school districts, you typically have very solid price appreciation when it comes to homes, okay? The reason why is everyone wants their kids to be in great schools. So families tend to flock to those areas, which means there's a high demand for housing versus an area that does not have great schools, where families are not going to want their kids going to those particular schools. So generally investing in real estate in an area that has great schools like Lake Stevens or Northshore is going to be a fantastic investment for you long term. So the second big reason that people move to Lake Stevens and continue to flock there is the trail system. There's some fantastic trails in Lake Stevens. If you go out into the foothills of Granite Falls and the Mountain Loop Highway, there's some really great hiking. You got Mount Pilchuck out there and just some amazing great hikes. But in Lake Stevens itself, there is some great hikes, most notably the Centennial Trail. Centennial Trail literally links Skagit County all the way down to Snohomish County here. In Snohomish County, it starts up in Arlington, goes through Marysville, and then ends up in Snohomish. So it's Arlington, Lake Stevens, Snohomish, and it's about 30 miles long. And what's cool about this is it's paved. I believe it's paved for all of it. I haven't been on all 30 miles, but I believe it is paved, and it's about a 10-foot wide width. And then there's an equestrian track off to the side of it as well for those people that love riding their horses. That is also an option for you. Okay, so there's trailheads off of 84th Street there, which is close to the Getchell area when it comes to Lake Stevens. That could be a great trailhead to start off from, as well as by Lake Cassidy. And then you can also kind of find other areas and other trailheads down by Machias, which is where it connects into Snohomish. Okay, so it's really great for family bike rides, going for a jog, just getting some exercise. And for those, you know, lucky few that back up to Centennial Trail with their property, it's like, boom, you got your own hiking trail unique to your own house there, which is really cool. I've sold a few homes that back up to Centennial Trail. My clients have absolutely loved having that in their backyard. Obviously, there's pros and cons to that because you're going to have people coming and going all the time past your property, but it's pretty cool when you can go directly from your property on to the trail. So definitely check out the trails in Lake Stevens. Centennial Trail is the most notable one, and go check it out. Take your family on a bike ride out there on a nice sunny day and enjoy it. This brings me to number 3. The third reason that people are flocking to Lake Stevens is, of course, the waterfront parks. So as the name implies, a lake is a pretty big part of Lake Stevens. This is actually the largest natural lake in Snohomish County. It's about 150 feet at its maximum depth. I believe it has an average depth of about 60 feet, but there are some parts that go deeper than that. And it's a little over 1,000 acres in size, okay? Fully motorized boats are allowed on Lake Stevens, and you'll see them all over there in the summertime. People wakeboarding, water skiing, tubing, having an absolute blast. The view of the Cascade Mountains from Lake Stevens is absolutely unbelievable. Like, this is the essence of why people move to the Northwest. You've got this beautiful lake, and then right above it, you've got these beautiful mountains just kind of jutting out into the sky. You've got Mount Pilchuck over there, and some other just incredible mountains. When you look up from your boat, it's just flat out jaw-dropping gorgeous. Like, this is why people move to the Northwest, is these sunny days we get where you look out and you're on the water, but you also have these incredible mountains. That combination is just so cool and makes it such an attractive area to want to move to, okay? So if you're not lucky enough to own one of these $2 million houses on the lake, no worries at all. I got you covered. There's still some amazing ways that you can take advantage of the lake and lakefront activities. There's 3 amazing parks that you definitely want to know about. The first one is called North Cove. It's the newest area. It's kind of by the old downtown Lake Stevens. There's kind of been a redevelopment down there. There's a community center, really great playground, new dock they've put in, things like that. It's a great park to take the family to, and it's a nice summer day. They can jump off the dock. They can enjoy the swimming there. Really, really great. I also love that it's walking distance to some dining. You've got Buzz Inn Steakhouse right there. You've got the Biscuit and the Bean, which one of my favorite breakfast sandwiches in all of Snohomish County, so check that out. You've also got Francisco's Mexican kind of grill over there also, and a few other options. So there's some awesome dining that is right there. You can take the family to the lake, end your day with a great dining experience as well. Okay, so that's North Cove. The second one is Davies Beach, formerly known as Wyatt Park, okay? This has got a boat launch, public boat launch. So it's a great place to go put your boat in and take off from there. They got a really cool and large dock, and it's definitely a good place to go launch the boat and spend the whole day on the lake. The last one is pretty well known. My third favorite park, and definitely a really good one, is Lundin Park. It's on the north side of the lake. Great playground, great swimming. Man, on a sunny day is just packed to the gills out there, and it is absolutely beautiful. So check out one of those parks. My personal favorite is Lundin, but I also like North Cove, just because it's so new, that with that community center and the dining that's right there, it's a really fun dynamic to just go hang out at the lake and then end your day with some great dining at one of those awesome local restaurants. So those are the different options you have. There's a couple other smaller options as well, but those are the top 3 I want to make sure that you're aware of. That brings us to number 4. Maybe one of the most exciting. I mentioned grocery shopping to you at the beginning of this video. I held out on you a little bit because I didn't tell you about Costco. Costco came in 2022 out here in Lake Stevens. It's on the corner of 20th and Highway 9. Great location, and people love it. If you lived in Lake Stevens before, you would have to drive to one of 2 locations. You'd have to go up to Smoky Point in Arlington, or you'd have to drive south down into the Silver Lake area of Everett. That all changed when Costco went into Lake Stevens. Now people live in Granite Falls have a location much closer, same with Snohomish. So this was a great spot for Costco to target and open. It's been extremely well received. They've also got gas out there too, if you're looking for some great deals on gas. And similar to all Costco's, they've got, an amazing selection of retail stuff for your home, like furniture, outdoor decor, things like that. And then of course, the grocery shopping is next level. Being the bodybuilder I am, I personally love the deals on proteins like chicken, ground beef, steaks, things like that. Their carne asada is really fantastic. My kids love the pre-done chicken tacos they have. Costco is awesome there. Has not been open for very long, but it's been exceptionally well received by the community, and it's a great location. They're still kind of figuring out the traffic there. Like, there's a couple roundabouts that have been added in on Highway 9, and it can get pretty backed up going into Snohomish and also up towards Lake Stevens from there. But I know it's something that they're planning on kind of optimizing in the future, maybe of widening up that highway. So I'm sure the traffic will get better there. And right now it's busy for good reason. Everyone wants to go to Costco and grocery shopping. So it's a great location, and I'm super grateful that Costco put that in to be a service to this community. That brings me to my last and 5th point on why people move to Lake Stevens. And I told you, if you're a commuter, you're going to want to hear this, okay? They move to Lake Stevens because of the central location. This is huge if you're a commuter. This is a great spot, regardless of where you're driving to. Some of my clients even drive all the way into Seattle and Bellevue from Lake Stevens. They want to get a great deal on a house, and if their money to go further, what they spend $800,000 on in Lake Stevens would cost them $1.5 million down south closer to the city. So they are willing to exchange that value for that drive. Of course, that's always kind of a balance. but it's so central to so many different things. Boeing is a short drive across the trestle to get over there. Amazon just put in a huge center up in Arlington that's not far away. Getting anywhere in Snohomish is very easy, like Snohomish County. Like you've got Snohomish, the city down south, you've got Marysville to the north, you've got Granite Falls 15 minutes to the east, you've got Everett right there, 10 minutes across the trestle. It's just an easy location to get to so many different places. And that's something that people just absolutely love about it. The one thing I want to warn you about and that you want to keep your eye on as a commuter is the trestle. The trestle is what we call that connecting highway, that basically it's Highway 2 that connects Everett over to Lake Stevens. It's elevated. It's like built up above the water there. And it's 2 lanes on each side, but it can back up pretty badly if there's an accident. Some days when there's no accidents, it's no big deal. You just cruise right on through. Other days, you know, gosh, there's a fender bender and it backs traffic up for 25 more minutes, and it's totally unpredictable. So watch the trestle closely. There's other ways to get out of Lake Stevens. I live in Granite Falls now, and so I have to come through Lake Stevens. And oftentimes if traffic is bad on the trestle, I'll either go down to Seattle Hill Road and up into Everett that way, where my office is at, or I'll go up into Marysville, kind of where our kids go to school, and cut into I-5 there. So there are other routes, but just a heads up on the trestle. It's very unpredictable, and it can be a source of frustration if you don't know what to expect with that. Okay, so that is one of the biggest reasons Lake Stevens has expanded and exploded so much, is of course the centralized location. Like the schools and the location are the 2 big ones that have resulted in so many people flocking to this area. Okay, so there you have it. That's the 5 top reasons that people are moving to Lake Stevens. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I am a real estate agent. I was ranked the #1 agent in all of Snohomish County out of more than 4,000 agents in both 2020 and 2021 for buyer representation. So I was really grateful to be acknowledged for that, and it's a testament to my amazing clients and my team. But if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, reach out to me. I'd love to help you with that and be a resource for you, okay? Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and share this video if it's been helpful for you.